Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Is everything good? I hope so. So I wanted to just do a quick video on Michael Kelley. I have been sharing some articles about him. He is the senior citizen that's 74 years old, and he was charged with another charge of child pornography. So I wanted to just follow up kind of with what we've been discussing with assaults and the missing persons cases and possible trafficking, and recently the case I discussed about Naomi Jones, who was abducted, as assaulted and murdered. I wanted to do this case because I don't want anybody to feel comfortable due to someone's age or their appearance, or maybe you think that some type of person wouldn't do this. People have a repeat history. It's really sad. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the sex offender registry and kind of show you that. So let's get into it. I linked the article that I'm going to read. There's two different ones. The first one is from MLive, and it was dated July 14th, 2023, and the title is Ann Arbor Man Charged with Possessing Child Pornography, Given $5 million bond. So this is going to give us some background on Mr. Kelley. Okay, so let's go. An Ann Arbor man accused of possessing sexually abusive materials of children has been given a $5 million bond in two separate cases. Michael Kelley, 74, was arraigned this month in the 15th District Court on two cases related to possessing or creating abusive material of children. Kelley has another case with similar charges currently in the 22nd Circuit Court, as well as one from 2018 that put him on probation. So that means that he has 4 cases in a 5-year span going back from 2018 through 2023. 4 cases. And that's why you have to be concerned when people say, well, I've been rehabilitated, I've changed, I've grown. You know, you have to show it in action, not just in words, because a lot of them do not. So let's keep reading. Kelley was arraigned on 3 charges of child abusive activity in the 15th District Court by Magistrate Tamara Garwood on July 9th. Washtenaw County Prosecutor Grace Broughton requested Garwood deny Kelley's bond, keeping him in jail throughout his court process. He is a danger to the children of this community, Broughton said during the hearing. He clearly has an interest in minor children, Broughton continued, and he can't curtail his desires or his behaviors. Kelley denied during the hearing that he has had contact with children. It's a false accusation. I've been suffering from the state that I'm a danger to children, Kelley said. It's not fair to me. It's a crime against me and my own integrity. I have never touched anyone. Kelley was also arraigned in the 15th District Court by Magistrate James Cameron on Thursday, July 13th, on 1 count of child abusive activity, and 1 count of aggravated possession of child abusive material. So you have to have activity and material. Those are 2 separate charges. So you were doing something, and then you also had material in your possession. Okay? When Ann Arbor police came to arrest Kelley for violating his probation, so they're going to his house to arrest him, they saw him run to a poster board and began tearing down pictures, allegedly in an attempt to destroy evidence. Washtenaw County Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Mariah Tanha said during the second arraignment. So the police are there to arrest him because he violated his probation. In his view, they see him running to try to destroy the evidence of the pictures. Police also found pictures of pre-pubescent children in various stages of clothing in his apartment attached to simulated genitals, Tanha said. Let me read that sentence again. Police also found pictures of pre-pubescent children. I think they're trying to say pre-puberty, in various stages of clothing in his apartment attached to simulated genitals. Both Garwood and Cameron set Kelley's bond at $5 million. Court regulations bar judges from denying bond in Kelley's instance since his charges do not qualify. So in his instance, they couldn't deny his bond, but the judge decided to set his bond very high so that maybe he would not be able to make it and be back released into the public. Because this is a danger. It's really scary. Garwood said during the hearing, "If I could give you no bond, I would absolutely give you no bond in this case," she said. So that means we need to change the law, right? And judges need to have more discretion, right? In cases like this, where the person is a threat to children, vulnerable children, right? They should have the discretion, right, to revoke a bond. But he doesn't. Kelley is next set to appear in the 15th District Court on Thursday, July 20th. He is next set to appear in the 22nd District Court on Tuesday, August 1st. Okay. So what I also share his charges because I like for us to talk about the law, right? And what was he charged with? So the state that he lives in Michigan. So they have a system, which I shared, is called the Offender Tracking Information System. And it's really a nice system because you can put in a person's name and you will be able to see, it's kind of like their information, their name, what they were charged with, when the offense occurred, was they pleading guilty or they got convicted, the dates. They'll show his current status. If he's in prison, they will tell you what prison. They will have a photograph in some of these cases. They have the birthday, age. I mean, it's very, very nice and detailed. So I shared that, which I will just quickly show you on here. That's Mr. Kelley there. He's 74 years old. And let's look at what he was charged with. So that's his record on the Michigan Department of Corrections website. It's called Offender Tracking Information System. It's really great. So it tells so much detailed information, but we see that he was charged with child sexually abusive material possession. The date is June 1st, 2018. And then he was sentenced November 3rd, 2020. He did nolo contendere, and it means that he is not putting in a plea of guilty or not guilty. So the judge is going to treat him as if he's guilty. He's not wanting to admit any guilt. Now let's look up the law. So I posted that also. I just want to read to you what they say. So the Michigan Penal Code Act 328 of 1931. So this is pushing almost 100 years. And that's something that maybe they need to look at, making sure they're constantly updating the law so that it's current, to fit the crimes that are happening now. So it reads, definitions: child as abusive activity or material. Then they have the penalties. And it just goes on and on right there. We're going to skip over that. So they're defining some of the words here. Ooh, let's kind of go past that. So they say child as abusive material means any depiction, whether made or produced by electronic, mechanical, or other means, including a developed or undeveloped photograph, picture, film, slide, video, electronic visual image, computer diskette, computer or computer generated image or picture, or sound recording which is of a child or appears to include a child engaging in a listed S acts, a book, magazine, computer storage device, or other visual or print or printable medium containing such a photograph, picture, film, slide, etc. Because I'm not going to read all of that. So let's go down here. A person who persuades, induces, entices, coerces, causes, or knowingly allows a child to engage in a child as abusive activity for the purpose of producing any child as abusive material, or a person who arranges for, produces, makes, copies, reproduces, or finances, or a person who attempts or prepares or conspires to arrange for, produce, make, copy, reproduce, or finance any child as abusive activity or child as abusive material for personal, distributional, or other purposes if that person knows, has reason to know, or should reasonably be expected to know that the child is a child, or that the child as abusive material includes a child, or that the depiction constituting the child as abusive material appears to include a child, or that person has not taken reasonable precautions to determine the age of the child, is guilty of a crime as follows. Except as provided in subdivision B, the person is guilty of a felony punishable by imprisonment for not more than 20 years or a fine of not more than 100,000 or both. And then it breaks down a lot of other if. So I think we get the point that it's going to be some serious time if he's convicted there. It could possibly be some serious time and a fine if he's convicted with that, right? Okay. So I wanted to kind of expose the mindset of a assaulter, because it's almost like a secret in them. You know, they know they can't expose themselves to other people, so they kind of hide that part of themselves. So maybe where he may feel it's not even wrong, he may feel that doing this, maybe the child wants this to happen. In his mind, there's something happening where it's allowing them to do this, and they're repeatedly doing it, but it's wrong. But they're not going to reveal that to you, right? If they get into a group, if they get around family, if there's a discussion about it, they may not want that person to be punished. They may feel like that's too harsh of a punishment. You know, you have to really listen to how they respond to issues, revolving around, as assault, because it's common, right? They say about 25%, 1 out of 4, and it may be higher now. This was a few years ago. People have experienced as assault. So I want you to remember that mindset, because I want to share a video of Mr. Kelley when he was being questioned by the judge in one of his cases, and what he said, which was very, I keep saying it, but it's very disturbing. It's disgusting. But I want you guys to see the mindset of this type of assailant. They don't think it's wrong. They think it's a minor thing. They do not feel that they should be punished. And that's why it's highly likely that they're going to do it again and repeat it again and again. So let me get that. And then there'll be just one last other thing I want to talk about.
Now to a 74-year-old Ann Arbor man accused in several felony child pornography cases.
His most recent arrest happened at his home this past weekend, where he was allegedly caught with more images.
7 Action News reporter Kimberly Craig has more information on the shocking comments he made in court that may amount to a confession.
I apologize because I don't know how to.
Michael Kelley was at home when Ann Arbor police came to arrest him Saturday night, and when officers looked through the window, they said it appeared he was trying to destroy evidence.
He poses a danger to the community. He clearly has an interest in minor children, and he can't curtail his desires or behaviors.
A Washtenaw County assistant prosecutor is talking about Michael Patrick Kelley. The 74-year-old was arrested over the weekend on outstanding child porn charges, and at his arraignment this week, he claimed he did not understand his rights due to memory loss.
I've been diagnosed with MRIs. I've got a serious cerebral microvascular brain disease.
I can't remember what I said a minute ago, but
No.
you can remember all the details of your medical situation.
Michael Kelley is no stranger to being on the wrong side of the law. He's actually a registered sex offender. He pled no contest in a 2018 child porn case and was given probation. And he'd likely be done with probation, except it's alleged that he continues to be caught with child porn. The most recent being Saturday night. According to police sources, Kelley allegedly takes images of children from magazines and places them onto adult pornographic images.
You continue to do these things, so now you've picked up new charges.
The Washtenaw County Prosecutor's Office asked for Kelley to be held without bond.
He has multiple reports matching his description, being called out as somebody whose behavior needs to be curtailed, and he is a danger to the children of this community.
The false accusation that I'm a danger to children.
I'm going to set cash or surety bond of $5 million. If I could give you no bond, I would absolutely give you no bond in this case.
Magistrate Tamara Garwood tries to get Kelley to keep quiet, but he just can't and says this.
May I ask why the $5 million? I haven't done any. All I had was a few pictures in my apartment. Why such a bond? I haven't met anyone, touched any.
Mr. Kelley,
anyone. So why?
you're not saying anything else. You're making a incriminating statement.
Did you hear what you just said?
Yes.
Sir, I'm going to tell you to stop talking right now. You just made the comment, all I have are a couple pictures in my apartment. Again, you may have just made a very large concession on the record.
Action News reached out to Michael Kelley's defense attorneys. They declined to comment. In Ann Arbor, Kimberly Craig, 7 Action News.
All right. Thank you so much, Kim.
He said he only had a few pictures. They don't feel it's wrong. When you don't feel that something is wrong, you're likely to repeat it and you're likely to keep doing it. And he's not probably going to stop. Unfortunately, even at the age that he's at, he's still doing it. So I don't want people to get set in their mind that because of age or race or occupation, they're someone in the medical field that you should look up to, or they're a pastor or a teacher or my child's coach. Unfortunately, it's in different areas. So the best thing is to be vigilant with everybody, to set boundaries with everybody, to be aware of what your kid is doing and talk to your kid. Let them know what improper touching is. Not leaving your kid alone, not leaving them with people that you can't trust, you don't know. That's the best defense. You don't want to be responding to something that has already happened, and then now you need help, you need counseling, you need services. Your child is harmed, they're violated. Okay, so I want to just mention the sex offender registry. So what I found out, the state of Michigan, they have a pretty good system and on their website. So they have the offender tracking information system, but they also have a sex offender registry. Now, I don't know, just in this case is how I found it, but in other states as well, you can go in, you can search by a zip code. If you know a possible person's name, say, for example, you're going on a date, but you don't know the person, right? So you might want to check and see if they're on the sex offender registry in your state where you live, or you may want to check and see if the state provides arrest records free to the public. Sometimes they'll go back 5 years, 10 years. They may have active offenders. They may have paroled offenders. They may have people that are on probation, that they're still tracking for so many years. So that could be something that's free, like this state, where you can go in, you can search by name, and you can see if they're registered. So I wanted to show you that because that's pretty important. It's a good resource and it doesn't cost you anything. So I have it up. I just don't know how to close these other things. I'm not computer savvy, as you will learn. You will learn that I am not computer savvy. I need help. I had everything ready and good to go, and I just don't know how to. It's like other windows have opened up. Okay, I see how to close that one. Okay, now how do I get back to the top of this one? I wonder if I can. Okay, I don't know how to make it smaller. I think I just made a mistake and I don't know how to. Okay, is that it? That's it. It's not. I don't know how to close the page. Well, I can't do it. I don't want to waste any more time. The point being is,
here's what I found.
Oh, it's talking. I don't want it to do that. I want to just get out of everything. Well, the point is, just like this state, I'm sure other states will have places where you can go to just protect yourself, do a search, put the name in, and see what comes back. In this particular state, I noticed that they had pictures, so that was really nice. And they also list the crime. So, for example, in one of the ones that I just saw, the male was an adult and the female was a minor. So they're telling me what the crime is, what the charge is, and the age is, like a detailed account. So that helps me to know if this person is 16, the other person is 18, or if this person is 14 and this other person, the assailant, was 50. That's a big difference, right? You wouldn't even, have a reason to know this person. So all of that you want to take into account. You want to take all of that information into account when you're dating, when you're talking to somebody, when you're getting to know them. And they may not reveal to you their past history, but if you have their name, or over time from talking to them, you get their name, or their social media will reveal their real name, their government name, you can put it in there as a check. Because there's a big difference between, for example, maybe I'm trying to think of a low-level crime. Maybe something like retail fraud under $500. Maybe somebody stole something when they were a kid versus like a S assault crime or bank robbery or something larger. I can't think of any crimes right now, but you understand what I'm saying. It's just another level that you can check. Doesn't cost you anything. You can do it online. In this state, it was free. It was immediately available. It looked like something that I could just go in and check, put a zip code in. It's going to show me all of the assailants in that zip code area. So it was really, really nice. Detailed account, detailed record of what happened, dates, everything, and a photograph. So I'm not just seeing a name, I'm seeing where they live. So are they 3 blocks away, 15 blocks away, in that zip code? So it could be further away, but it's just a way to help me, protect myself. If I'm going to the grocery store or something like that in my neighborhood, I want to know what's around and maybe even place those pictures in my mind. Don't date them. Well, I'm not dating, but I'm married. But for example, don't date them, pass them up, or even just knowing a person's criminal record. Did they have a past murder? Were they doing other criminal activity? All of those things can help you, aid you. And that's what we need. We need information to help us make decisions, informed decisions, to keep us and our children safe. So again, I just wanted to show you this example of Mr. Kelley because I want you not to place in your mind that this is what a scary person, a predator looks like, or they're going to be a stranger. That's not always the case. I would probably think more often than not, that's not the case. People have a fantasy in their mind about children, and they see them, and over time, this fantasy grows, and eventually they want to act on it. Now, some cases, they're just opportunity cases. They see an opportunity, they feel they have enough time and coverage to kind of get away with it and do it quickly. And that's again why that 6-hour time window is there. Either within that 6 hours, that child will be unalived or trafficked. That's the unfortunate part. You do not have a lot of time. That's why, again, as I repeat, you don't want to make these false police reports and false claims and have the police searching for something that's not even true or real, when there's people that really need the police to be focused in on these abductions, these predator abductions, because they have that small window of time. And it's unlikely that they will be alive if that time passes. Not too many people come home. And that's why it's good to get those missing person pictures out and share that information through media, social media, the news, because we need everybody with their eyes on that vehicle, that car, what they were wearing, what the child looks like, the description, the age, where was they last seen, what were they doing, who were they with. All these details matter, and that's why they have to figure out a way to get those details in the missing persons report in the state of Ohio, because that will help, especially when the kids a lot of times, many times, are getting trafficked out of the state. So they're not even in their home state anymore. So you want to have a flyer for the state where they're not even in anymore. You want it to be national known. Okay, so I just want to give you this quick video of Mr. Kelley, and you can kind of see, even at the age of 74, still repeating. And honestly, do you think it started at this age? Or do you think he had been doing it for years? So you'd have to go back in his past and see, did you have any kids? What were you doing for a job? Were you working around kids? Like, it could be more that you can unearth just going back in time, because I do not believe someone starts this at 69 years old. No. It was always there. They just never got caught. I can remember seeing or reading something about Mr. Kelley, when I initially shared his story, this is not recent, this is about a month old. So when it initially came out, he had said something about when he used to go up to the children's schools and be at the playground looking at the kids. And that's why I said in one of my prior videos, it's opportunity. Eventually, you're going to stop looking. You're going to stop having that distance. You're going to stop looking at pictures. Now you're at the school. Now you're at the playground, looking like an unsuspecting grandfather, you know, watching their kids, and you don't have any kids. That's how it grows. Now you're standing outside of elementary school, for example, or you're going to local playgrounds where you can see children. It grows, and then eventually that may turn into the desire to take one. Do you think you could get away with it? And you might have a plan in your mind about, okay, well, what's next? Do I take them home? How do I handle them if they want to go home? If they want to, oh, I want to go to my mom. I miss my mom. Where's my parents? You may not know what to do. And that's how they get harmed. A lot of them don't release them. They'll unalive them, dump their bodies somewhere, and go on with their life. And that's why we have to keep working, working hard as we can, supporting law enforcement, you know, being a parent that's aware, not just for your kid, but other people's kids too. I know I've always been the mom. I'm not leaving until all the kids get picked up. I'm not going to leave a kid behind. I've been a parent to drop kids off. I have parents that tell me, if you're going to be there, I know the kids are going to be safe because you don't play. You know, I know my kid, I can't be there at this, but if you're there, I know they're going to be okay. Because you gain trust over time, you know. Showing up, I will not drop my daughter off and not stick around. And she's a little older now. But I'm the parent that's going to be the volunteer. Or I'll just stick around. You know, I want to know what's going on. Who's getting involved? What is this program about? Hey, sign me up. So those are all kind of things that you can, you know, keep aware of what's going on with your child, other kids, keep an eye on them, friends, you know, making sure everybody gets home safely, not letting any kids kind of stand around and linger. You know, that would be a hard one, you know, to do that. Unless you have something so pressing that you just don't have the time. You know, just try to, you know, do things to be considerate and protective of everybody, not just your kid, you know. So, let's just pray and continue to do the work so that we can identify these types of assailants and remove them from society by prosecuting these cases so that they're no longer on the street, because it's highly likely that they'll return back to their crime. Repeat it. Okay? So I just want to thank you for checking out this video. Check out some of my other videos. I want you to have a great night, a wonderful weekend, and just put a smile on your face, because life is good. And we're going to keep going. We're going to keep moving. We're going to, you know, put our best foot forward and keep fighting crime. Okay? All right, friends. Thanks for checking out my video. Bye.